Okay, if I don't pass this fire hydrant before that car does, I'll die. Hello and welcome to another Storytime animation. Thanks so much for coming back to rot your brain with this content. If you know me, you know I'm a little strange. Over the years, I've developed some ridiculous habits, from common and relatable to ridiculously outlandish, and I'm here to share a few with you today. The first one I'll mention is one that I've developed ever since I was little, and upon looking at relatable memes on the internet, have discovered that this is actually super common. Yes, I do the thing where when I'm running, I say, if I don't reach blank before blank gets here, I'll die a horrible death. This strategy is how I won all of my cross-country races in middle school. I'd give myself the adrenaline of a life or death situation, so I would run faster than everyone else. It's certainly an impractical method, but hey, it works well. This next one is probably the strangest thing I do without thinking in public. Instead of carrying objects in my hands, I carry them on my head. And no, not in a way where I have my hands out to the side and I'm walking at the pace of a snail while trying to keep upright. I mean, I've habitually done this so often that I can balance anything on any terrain on my head while walking at a normal pace or even very slowly jogging. I can walk up and down stairs, sit and kneel down, and even spin around while still keeping the thing on my head balanced. This trick started when my friends and I challenged each other to balance our books and binders on top of our heads when walking from our lockers to our classroom at school. At the time, I was just as good as everyone else at this, but for some reason I decided to keep doing it. And I mean, I kept doing it. I walked around like this for months, and while I got strange looks from teachers at first, they eventually accepted it as normal. I eventually got better and better at this to the point where people began to stack books on my head to see how much I could balance. Our school at the time went from 7th grade to 12th grade, so each year the new 7th graders would point at me to their friends like I was a circus performer and watch me in amazement until they eventually got used to the fact that I would be doing this every day. Now this might just seem like a cool trick that I can do, but not really a habit that affects me negatively. But the thing about it is, I do this regularly. I don't really think before I do it. So sometimes I will catch myself doing it in public places, like parking lots, or in some cases, restaurants. I probably look incredibly weird doing this in a restaurant, but I don't really do it on purpose. Well, I guess, kind of. Also, this habit is giving me a flat head. Don't pursue this talent, it's not worth it. Another habit I have that I actually find more embarrassing than the balancing one is jumping. I like to jump. I really like to jump. Whenever I have too much energy stored up, or I'm just in the mood, or I get really excited, I will just start jumping on the spot. If I realize a video of mine did well, I'll start jumping. If I'm making myself popcorn, I'll start jumping. If I'm in my house and I hear a song I really like, I will jump around. This one is kind of frustrating considering that this feels more like an urge than a habit, and in places where it's not appropriate to jump around, I feel like I'm suppressing an itch if I don't jump. And then sometimes, again, I do this without realizing in public, and I honestly feel more embarrassed when I do that than balancing stuff on my head. This last habit isn't exactly strange in itself, but it's a habit that invites strange scenarios. I have a bad habit of offering to do stuff for people even when they give me a time frame that's borderline impossible. For example, I was previously my school's animator for their news team. I would typically animate punchlines for their Joke of the Week segment. When I first got the position of animator, I was assigned to animate a guy dressed in a Mexican outfit drowning in mayonnaise as the punchline to the joke, "What do you call a Mexican drowning in mayonnaise? Cinco de Mayo!" I know. It is the funniest joke you've ever heard. Anyways, the director wanted it to be 3D animated so I could make a fluid simulation of the mayo, and she wanted it by the end of the day. I had cross-country that day, so I only had 4 hours to work until the deadline. I stupidly accepted and somehow managed to model, texture, rig, and animate a new character and a fluid simulation in under 4 hours. Another thing I agreed to was 3D animate every single senior as themselves now and themselves as little kids for the senior video in 3 days. Our school was small, and there were only 7 students in the senior class. But keep in mind, that's 14 character models, along with 2 classrooms that I had to animate in 3 days. Did I get it done? It took a couple all-nighters, but yeah, I got it done. Anyways, that's my silly story for today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.